Hello, collective. So, what we're working on right now is the spirit of Leviathan through the Hydra. Or, I'm sorry, a Leviathan spirit. Not a Leviathan spirit. That's not what I want to call that right now. It's a Hydra. And so right now on my star maps, we got Leo hanging out up there and a whole bunch of other stuff going on. And the Hydra is right above me. And it was affecting me too. It's literally affecting my head. It was affecting I got an update on my phone overnight. But last night when I was up kind of late and I was trying to order some groceries. And weird stuff was happening while I was trying to order my groceries from Walmart. And I don't really know what all that's about. All I know is when I looked on star maps, there is a satellite positioned right above where it shows that this Hydra is. So, looks like God is highlighting this Hydra spirit. So if candles lit and we're praying against this Hydra. And the discussion over on the page, which I can share some of that in the community section, and people can go to the community section here on the channel and see some of what might be being shared and discussed in my ministry at any given time, or you can go to my playlist also and see stuff, recent events, things like that. So I'm still working on that playlist. It's kind of a little bit of a mess. It's a big playlist, but we'll get it perfected. So yeah, this was the code we got today that I was just getting. Masculine and feminine are weary, and it's from these attacks of jealousy. So there's jealousy about my ministry right now. They're just not backing off. This energy's not backing off. They are out to prove, I don't know, to themselves or other people who's who and who's not. And it's like, you've been doing that to me for 10 years and the Lord comes through literally every second of the day, but they don't stop. I don't know. I don't understand it. But anyway, it's happening again right now. It's spiritual warfare. So, all right, one of the ways that a Hydra spirit can be summoned is when people use their voice, their influence, that is their platform. Your platform is your voice or your influence. Nowadays, just about anybody can have a platform. For years, people within the church had a platform. The media had platform. People with talent had platform. And now, average person can have platform. So God has been anointing my ministry for that purpose. As a sacred feminine, I'm kind of keyed in to certain things. And one of the things I know is that when you're condemning others, when your judgment is a condemnation, there's a spirit of religion. There's some legalism going on in there. But what's happening with that, why that's happening is because there's indoctrination. Why there's indoctrination is because somebody's been taking platform to speak in absolutes. To say things like they are evil, like being specific, naming certain groups, individuals, or whatever, and saying they are evil. Okay? Naming people by name. not highlighting something that's happening on a platform or in a society or in something and then saying there's evil there, that's evil, and defending yourself or speaking out, but actually having already a voice and a platform. And it happens constantly because people haven't learned. So they'll speak in absolutes. It'll be like things like, if you had an abortion, you have the spirit of murder on you. You're murderers. That summons this Hydra. Okay? It's a judgment of God's. It will summon this Hydra. And what happens is anybody who's in alignment with what's being said, anybody who's not rebuking what's being said, and you're in agreement with it, you could possibly, and that's another thing, is it's not, people won't say it's possible or you could be or maybe or perhaps or it's as if or it would seem or things like that, but they'll just speak in absolutes, and other people will try to trick them into doing that. They will even try to trick you into thinking that that's you being affirmative and confident and taking control, and it's a form of pride and arrogance and ignorance. Okay, and we're all guilty of it. Anybody who's ever gotten angry or been under attack or had a platform or got angry on their platform or got really opinionated or believed what was being said and got all involved in it and started doing all this is guilty of summoning, possibly guilty of summoning a Hydra or the Hydra. So that's one way. Those are some common ways. Those are some ways. Of course, there's lots of other ways. So recently we had an attack up here on my platform, on my ley lines where I live. There was some neighbors up in arms arguing. And so a Hydra comes also when someone makes the wrong assumption. Let's say, for example, a person says to me, well, I was once Christian. Now, I've gone this way, that, there's some things I don't understand. I'd like to understand more. One of the things I did was I asked the devil to show himself to me. And then I meet this person's girlfriend or boyfriend. Just using it for example. And then the boyfriend says, throw some negative energy my way, and then attacks one of the children verbally, aggressively, is being cruel, things like that. And then I say to the person who said they asked for the devil to show up in their life, there you go. Now they go get into their little couple's tiff, or their gang stalking and eavesdropping, or both. And the person who was offensive, who I pointed out to the other person as, hey, look, the devil has shown up in your life, is like, I'm evil! Oh, I'm evil! And screaming like crazy and mad that they're being spoken over. And so they summon out of anger a Hydra. Possibly even that they are an anointed person in some way. Possibly even that they are a healer in some way. But they've taken offense and they've taken it to an extreme. Me being a Christian or me being a believer in Christ who studies Christian teachings, and other spiritual guidance as well, that's going to be my response when someone is being negative toward me, is I'm going to say, hey, the devil has shown up in your life. And to me, that's an everyday thing. That's a constant thing. To most of us, it is. But to someone else who doesn't have that experience, or they're immature, or they're under attack, or all of the above, they've been bestowed healing gifts, light, blessings into their lives. Maybe even they just have a child and a family. Still, that's your platform. You're a teacher in a school, that school's your platform. That classroom is your platform. You're a mom in a house, or a dad, that's also considered a platform, except for that is a home. That's a sanctuary. Some people go into the sanctuary of God, or they come out into the public, or they bring the sanctuary of God to the public, or bring the public to the sanctuary of God where they have a platform. And instead of speaking in a kind way and being mindful of their words, they may say things. They may get up on these platforms, holler, jump, yell, get other people to holler, jump, yell, roll around, and those people in America are murderers, and those people over there are murderers. They have the spirit of murder on you, and they wave their finger, and they yell, and they holler, and they repeat over and over. They're bringing a repetitive spirit, an indoctrination. They're casting a spell. They're summoning something to help them cast this spell, and it isn't of God. And so it will come out from the deep. It will come out from the deep, and it wants to attack the depths of your reality and your mind. So we call that reprobate mind. Reprobate meaning repetitive and problematic, robs you of your ability to discern and distinguish, takes away all rationality. It obliterates it. So then you end up with a spirit of Hydra, and that's what they've done. A spirit of Hydra has been summoned here. And if you're following my page and my works, I'm showing you exactly why it's even here. Where I live. If it's here where I live, it's trying to attack the ley lines. It's trying to attack people, it's trying to do that. It's a judgment sent by God. Will you rise out of that reprobate? Will you come against what isn't of God? Will you do the right thing? Will you stay aligned? Will you awaken? It's sort of a test from God, but some may experience it as a test. Some may experience it as a temptation. And it's a temptation to use your voice, your influence, your talent, your creativity, your gifts of the Spirit in a way that's outside of God, in a way that serves evil more than God. So God could be testing a lot of ministries right now. He's testing unions. He's testing ministries. Tests come before a season of blessing. We have 17. We have pain. So they'll go make a YouTube channel, and somebody tried to make a YouTube channel and come tell me I was under witchcraft attack, that somebody was doing witchcraft on me. And they said, how you know is you got bruises on your skin for no reason. You got scratch marks on your skin for no reason. And I'm like, yeah, right. Okay. I do have bruises on my skin, and I do have scratches on my skin right now. And I don't know why they thought that would work. I do know it was directed my way. Maybe to make other people think, if they did happen to see my skin, that I was under witchcraft attack. I don't know. To make me think it, I don't know. And that's just a small tip of just this past week or two, what the enemy has tried to do on these algorithms and in my spaces or in my works. I have bruises on my leg from moving my bedroom around and the scratches are the same reason. From we just did like a spring cleaning. We did like an early spring cleaning. We did it for the new year. I like to do that. I like to get ahead of the next season any chance I get. So I was doing that. And it seemed like the enemy didn't like me doing that. And I made some videos and I was looking good and sounding good and feeling pretty good. And the enemy was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And just started in on me. And they came for me. I was like, okay, so we have the knowing the Lord and the worry and the goal setting. Okay, so this is what's happening right now, and I'm using it for, of course, teaching points to bring you some guidance so people understand, hopefully, a little bit better what's happening with that, so that we can be in the right light. And we have to call sin out sometimes. You have to call it out when it's happening. So that's another thing. This is an opportunity to speak up and call sin out that way. Call people out for misusing their gifts, misusing their influence, their platforms, for not being mindful, for taking platform to exert their own will and pride over others and etching God out of that, acting outside of that. Doesn't matter who it is, okay? So the example that was given us was they're trying to basically say that that's what this president did on January 6th, that he spoke out of term and that they're finding him guilty of federal crimes for using his presidential platform to say certain things that caused a riot. They said he summoned the mob. No. That's wrong. Okay? That's wrong. He didn't summon a mob. If he summoned a mob, he would have also summoned a hydra, and there was no hydra summoned. I know because God had me doing this. There was no hydra summoned. So therefore, he didn't summon. But now here we have something summoned from them saying, for the things that are being said. And it's just like, wow, really? Okay, maybe he said some things people didn't like. Did he cause a riot? I don't believe so, and that's why I don't believe so. That's why. That's the point that myself and my Lord are making at this time. If you want to have problems with somebody like a leader, then have problems that are real, that he really did do. That was all a result of all of the hydra energy that they were attacking and heaping upon the public, and the public was fighting back. But people didn't see that. They're reliant on what people could see. And they're reliant on making it look like he's guilty of summoning Hydra. You would have to summon a Hydra and activated certain frequencies to cause a riot. And it's not like the public doesn't know now. Most of the public knows, and they'll know more, that when the riots are happening, when things like that are happening, it has to do with energy and frequency. And everything we were speaking against in terms of targeting mob mentalities is what happened that day. So now it has reached public platform. It has reached the public eye. God has raised it up. Okay, he's guilty of this, this, and this. Let's look at it. Let's talk about it. So that's my reason for that. And when God covers somebody, especially during judgment or during certain times, who has a platform, it doesn't mean every time they might speak out of term that it's going to summon something or cause something. God was protecting him from that, and we know that for the simple fact of who was covering, which was people like me, who was covering that presidential speech, that presidential communication. Therefore, if he was covered by us from God's kingdom, Elohim spirits, He was prevented from summoning chaos. So it's not really even an attack on him. It's an attack on us, as usual. It's an attack on people. But they may believe. They may believe that that's what he did. I don't know. From their perception. If so, then I guess they really weren't paying any attention during the whole entire presidency, because what we were doing in ministries like mine reached all the way around the world. So how did they not see that? How was he guilty of something that God was making sure through us wasn't happening? So then you have your answers right there. And all you can do is pray and rebuke it. That's just my take on it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I call on people to do. And it doesn't matter what president it is. If they came to me right now and said Joe was guilty of federal crimes for some stuff he said on a platform, I would do the same thing. But there's this Hydra here now. They excluded me from covering in my ministry the current president because I covered Trump, and I was being shunned and punished for covering Trump. But I was called to cover Trump by God to do what I was doing. I had an 8-year contract because he was supposed to get two runs as president. It was likely he was going to get 2 runs. But instead I got another president. My contract was for that time frame. So then I had to go cover the Democratic stuff too. But I was excluded from it. I was silenced. I was hidden. They went ahead and hid me. And they didn't use me. If they did it very covertly instead of openly. And so now there's a judgment. And God is redoing my contract. And he's working on that as we speak. But first, we have to take care of this Hydra energy that came about. Because of all this accusation and finger pointing, which God came through with a commandment and said, before all of this, and when it was still a pandemic, no finger pointing. Don't play the blame game. And they did exactly what God said not to do. And they didn't use ministries like mine. It's a death card. Insufferable energy too. That's another. Hydra energy is insufferable energy. You can't satisfy it. You can't reason with it. You can't ration with it. It's irrational. So when couples get in a fight in front of the children, it curses the children. Let me slow down. It could curse the children. It could summon something, which is a curse, that would target someone spiritually. That would be a curse. People curse all the time. People curse all the time outside of witchcraft. Much more than they do actually deliberately doing something that is considered witchcraft. They do it with astrology. This is why God doesn't like astrology. Because people say, I'm a Cancer. I'm this, I'm that. No. Your birthday is a Cancer. You are human. We're separated from the animal kingdom. We know that from the Bible. You're a human who your birth date and time falls under a category. That Hydra spirit also is able to use that. It's able to use the logosphere. I call it the logosphere, but it's the logos kingdom, and that's also active up there. So when Leo's in effect, Leo is Leo for Elohim, which is the logosphere. Those of us who have cipher abilities, we're keyed in to our logosphere. We're Elohim. So we love him, and he loves us essentially, and so he gives us knowledge. And so It's the love of him coming through the logosphere. And when that hydra's in effect in a negative way, it can use that logos, or that low gas, that fuel, to fuel its attacks and its creations. Its monsters are real. Shine down, okay? Hydra and sextiles. Sextiles being creations from the logosphere. And that may not make sense to everybody, but that's what I'm channeling, and I just wanted to bring that as notes. So, okay. Someone in our monad also got baptized recently, and he said he got baptized in the ocean. Why? Do you want Leviathan? Do you want Satan to? Do you want to bathe in the Satanosphere? That's the Satanosphere. And that's another thing they've hidden from us, is all the names of our spheres. That's something Gaia knows. That's a sacred feminine thing. The names of our spheres, they're not even listed in the logos. They're not even of the logosphere. All right, so, but he did invite, he invited God into his deliverance through the word. So even though he got baptized in the ocean, which doesn't make a lot of sense, Jesus went and got baptized in a river, in a stream. If he wanted to get baptized in the ocean, he could have. He was in the ocean a lot, you know. Read Peter. He found the 12 disciples. They were on a fishing boat in the ocean. Why didn't he just get baptized in the ocean? Well, there you go. That's why. It's a Satanosphere. It's a large body of water. We go in our bedroom to pray. We get in our bed and pray. We get in the bathtub for detoxing. And when we get baptized in a small body of water or a stream. Some churches will use like a bathtub or something, which is good. You'll do it. But you're going to go to the beach and get baptized in the ocean? I'd like to know how that went. Did you put a tub on the beach and get in a tub? Or did you just go dip in the ocean? Because if you did that, I don't know. It's a Satanosphere. It ain't looking great. The ocean's filled with salt. But the stream is salt free. So then you can become the salt of the earth. Not the salt of the sea. He doesn't say you're the salt of the sea. He says you are the salt of the earth. So you're not of the Satanosphere once you're of Christ. Okay? These are things, these are corrections, these are edifications. Pray over these things. Take all this stuff to the Lord in discernment. Let's get some messages real quick, and hopefully I have enough time on the video, because I only had like 70% on my phone, so I don't know. Also, I'm just hot for no reason. I got the shofar going since it's warfare time. I got the candles lit. We've said the Lord's Prayer and all that. I'll be praying, that's the public prayers. We all have our personal private prayers. And so they're saying, well, we hear your prayers. Well, you hear my prayers because this is being summoned. And that's okay if you hear my prayers, because the prayers I've been saying are public prayers. They're supposed to be heard in public. My private personal prayers, it's all still private. They're trying to make me think that I don't have any privacy, because then privacy is important to me. So that's what this Hydra can do. It can get deep into your mental recesses of your mind, and it can read ley lines. It can read the whole everything. And it has a lot of powerful. The Hydra spirit is also coming from ancient. The spirits that are connected to Hydra are ancient. They're very stubborn, persistent. They like to fight. They are combative. all the time, anytime. They love to see debates going on, arguments. They thrive on that. That's the fuel for this, is those kind of creations. Now, in the right atmosphere, an active logosphere over something should be healthy debate. Think about this. Like, why did they want so badly for the president last season? He didn't have to debate Joe Biden, but they wanted so badly, and they pushed until they got what they wanted, and they wanted him to debate Joe. Why, though? People were saying why back then, and we talked about it, but it didn't seem to register with anybody. Why? Because they wanted to do the Hydra, because they wanted to scatter people like us who were doing quantum enlightenment and quantum ministries and bringing you this energy and covering that. They didn't want that. They didn't want him having that kind of favor and support, and they want to control us and lord over us, right? I'm telling you the truth. I'm just telling you the truth, okay? We got health. The Lord wants us to stay focused on our health, because something about this isn't good. Something about healthy friendships too, and your work life. It seems like they want to cause discord that way, especially in righteous atmospheres or with the righteous souls, and they want to destroy hope. That's what the evil wants to do. That's the opposite of what God's doing. What God is doing is bringing us hope, unifying us, bringing the righteous souls together to work on these missions in a more healthy atmosphere. A healthy, conducive atmosphere. That's what God's working on. So you have Andromedan energy, which is, we got truth. We have Andromedan energy, is often associated with the media, but when you put the Leviathan energy in it, or the Marine Kingdom, or this Hydra, it summons this Leviathan spirit into the media, and it twists everything, okay? When a Hydra is summoned onto a ley line or an area, it's to affect the stream of knowledge, to affect the stream and the flow of divine truth. They want to disrupt that. Those are their goals all the time, to disrupt that. So I'm just breaking it down for you guys, okay, the best I can. Strategies are needed. Sacred, divine, DM, and divine feminine are no one's karmics, okay? We're catalysts. We're not that kind of catalyst when we have sacred, divine feminine, divine masculine energies, and we're anointed. But strategies are needed. That's a message for love and sacred union coming out there. Let's see here. It's a good time to activate the sacred flame. That's the strategy we use as twin flames. And the way we do that is we drop down in the heart center. We keep our vibration very high. In spite of anything that's going on, we stay in the energy of love, of being in love, of reunion, of bliss, okay? And that's what we're being asked to do right now. That is what we're called to do. Angelic light agents and potential love. And soulmate friendships. That's our focus right now. And that's our superpower right now. Let's get a main message real quick. What are some of the main things to know? And then I'll see what are some things to do. Sickness. This energy could produce sickness, or people may feel sick. I got 18 yesterday. Food could make you sick. You might be more sensitive to food. Food issues could come up. If you have diabetes already, or any type of heart issues, or any sort of mental issues, this energy can affect that. So we want to pray against that. God asks the preachers, the pastors, the holy men to pray over the sick. Okay, so that's some directives right now. Pray over the sick. Discouragement. Pray over conflict and discouragement. Pray against it. Don't give in to it. Stay strong and grounded. Stay in the energy of joy, that which brings you joy. Anything that brings you joy, comfort, anywhere where you're not comfortable right now, could be from the enemy, not from God. My head felt swimmy too. I felt like my crown was under attack. We got scheduled. This was a scheduled attack. This is peer pressure. They're putting pressure there. That's the kind of there's rejection, there's opposition. That's what's being done. That's the action energy. That's what to do, what to pray against. This is pressure coming from opposition and conflict. This is rejection, spirit of rejection. We even had a jealousy card. This was planned, strategized, scheduled. They want to meet some deadlines is what I'm hearing. This could be both people, good and bad, both sides, good and bad. You know, it could be leadership in general, trying to meet some schedules, dealing with a lot of pressure, a lot of rejection, a lot of opposition at this time. Just need to plead the blood of Jesus against it and keep doing the spiritual warfare prayers. Focus on your health, your friendship, your work, your riches, your problem solving, and issues of greed, pride, arrogance, and control. So keep praying against the strong man, for sure. And this Hydra, I asked the Lord to give me my hatchet. Let me have my hatchet. Let him have his axe, and let's get at it, because we need to chop this up, dice it up real good, serve it up. So I was talking about some flounder recently. Looks like we're going to have some rare cuisine as well, Lord willing. Because from where I sit and what I see, they did everything God didn't want them to do. The opposition did. And that's judgment. It affects everybody. And that's sad that they do that to people, but that's what they do. Also, scheduled means you're being delivered for something, but it tries to come back. It tries to come back sevenfold. So this would be 7. This would be about 7 or 8 times that the enemy has tried to come my way this way in the past several years. So I really do hope that God just intervenes here even further, which it looks like he is. We saw that yesterday. We have compassion. Okay, so that's my report. That's my update. I am going to keep it brief. I'm going to keep these videos as brief as I can. And I'm basically just going to bring you these reports and these energies, and then try to point you in the direction of God and in the direction of information that's being shared and helpful things. So in my playlist, if health is your focus, I think you will be very happy with the tools and information that myself and the collective have been bringing, and that has been stored here in these playlists for you to check out. Okay, so we heal with music, we heal with prayer, we heal with vibration, frequency, godly vibration and frequencies, and practical medicine, spiritual medicine, and any physical. That's the ways of it here in the Sacred Feminine Gaia Sophia EL community. That is my name, one of my names, my major name. That's my handle. And then I have my angelic name, my shamanic name, names my family calls. I have a lot of names, guys. You can just call me Carla. Some people even call me Lala, Arc Lala. Please just stick to Carla or Sham, and some people call me G. G as in Gaia, G as in Grandma, G as in spiritual gangsta. I mean, okay, you get it. Like, I got a following, I got people that know me, and that love this ministry and that love me. All is not lost or hopeless here. It's just a channel. It's going to grow how it's supposed to. I'm not worried about it. I'm just worried about doing what the Lord needs me to do. And I'm being called into these missions to use my voice at this time, my eyes and my ears, my spiritual knowledge, my insights, to bring, to try to help shine a light of truth and love and light on the happenings of the day at this time. So I pray for good leaders. I pray that the worthy leaders always win, and that, you know, worthy platforms always shine, for righteousness, for unity, divine truth, protection, clarity, and fivefold blessings all around. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I love you all. Mwah.